Hello and welcome. I'm Maria Ressa. With us today is typhoon survivor Sheena Hunia. Sheena is from Barangay Sagkahan, Manga in Tacloban City. This is one of the hardest hit areas in the aftermath of the typhoon. Defying the odds, Sheena survived by literally riding the waves of Yolanda's storm surges on her surfboard. She is here to tell us her amazing story. Sheena, thank you for joining us today. Anong nangyari? What happened when the storm hit?
When the storm hit, I wasn't sure if it's gonna be that strong.
Yes.
Kasi we don't have TV, so I was only able to watch the news like few hours before, like yung mga 12 midnight.
Yes.
Because I went home to Tolosa.
So you were in Tolosa where the storm hit land, is that correct?
Mga 12 midnight,
12
I was in Tolosa.
Ah,
Then
you were in-
mga
okay.
1 a.m. I went back to Sagkahan.
Okay.
Because
So
I
you were
was
in
supposed
Sagkahan.
to go to Robinson's the morning. So, ayun, I woke up 5 a.m. because the door was banging really hard. Tas yung windows, as in sunod-sunod na yung windows ng kapitbahay. Sunod-sunod na siyang nagbabasagan. Like, parang Armalite yung sound. Sobrang lakas. Tapos I was texting my friends na, I'm scared. And I was posting pa nga on Facebook na sobrang lakas ng ano. Tapos, I was so nervous. I went back to sleep. So, around 7 a.m., there was a huge, like, bang, parang gunshot. Yung door ko na pala, nag-detach. So, broken na siya. Tapos, biglang, napatayo ako kasi sobrang lakas. So, pagtayo ko, biglang hanggang, knee-high na yung water. Tapos, drowned lahat since walang bed frame yung bed ko. Mattress lang. Tayo ako, drowned na lahat. I was like, oh my God. Tapos nag-dress up pa ako. And, after that, mga 2 minutes, naka-dress na ako. Literally dress ako. Kasi wala na akong mahanap na ano.
Oo.
And, tas nun, mga siguro 2 minutes, I was trying to calm myself down kasi, yun nga, nagpapanik ako. Pero, yun, so I got my backpack, tas surfboard, tas dinala ko siya sa labas. Tas siguro, mga lampas tao na siya or hanggang neck or something like that. Basta nag-mount na ako. Tas, nag-paddle out ako palabas ng compound. Paglabas ko ng compound, papunta sana ako dun sa house ng friend ko, which is like a block away. Pero I couldn't see anything na, as in, puro fog na lang. Tapos, na-realize ko na yung water pala black. As in, black, not brown, not sort of grayish black. So, ayun, bumalik ako. Pumunta ako sa likod ng compound. Tapos may nakita kong stairs. Tapos I went up. Tapos yung door, yung water, sobrang bilis niyang tumaas. Tapos inaabot na ako sa taas. Tapos yung door nakalock. Sabi ko, if hindi pa ako lumabas dito, malalak ako dito, baka sobrang tumaas pa nito, tapos ako yung mas stranded. So, bumalik ako sa front ng compound. Binawasan ko muna yung laman ng bag. Kasi basa na yung mga damit, so mabigat na siya. Tapos hindi na ako nakakaya ng board. Kasi ang bigat niya na. So,
Were you paddling on the board or were
Yeah,
you were paddling?
I was
really
mounting.
Oh,
Yes.
mounted. Okay. Tapos
Tapos I was paddling outside. Tapos yung labas ng compound namin, may parang broken, katabi lang ng gate, may parang broken wall. Tapos may siguro mga 1.5 foot na steel bar na naka-protrude. Nakahawak lang ako doon. Humawak ako doon, tapos umakyat ako sa wall. Tapos hinawakan ko lang yung board and backpack. Tapos when all else fail, pag mahulog ako, at least may board ako. Hindi ako doon ako kakapit. So hindi ko talaga siya binibitawan. Tapos I was there for like mga 10 minutes. Pero I was thinking, oh my God, I think this is the end na. So,
continue.
parang okay lang. Tanggap ko na.
Okay.
Tapos,
Tapos,
sabi ko, okay, no pressure. Kung makalusot, kaya. Pero pag hindi, okay lang. So, tas after nun, may nakita kong family, sinira nila yung door nung balcony katabi ko. Siguro may, parang ako, wall, tas may window na may grills, tapos balcony. Tapos walang apakan yung dito sa window. So, I was trying to ask them for help. Tapos yung iba, hindi ako pinansin. Tapos yung isang guy, yung mga 20s, tumingin siya sa akin. Tapos so, slowly, pumunta ako doon. Wala akong, purong nakaganon lang ako. Tapos dahan-dahan ako pumunta doon sa balcony. Tapos, nakaapak pa ako sa board. Tapos yung current sobrang lakas. Gusto nang liparin yung board, pero hindi ko pinapakawalan. Tapos yung last, either yung board or, pupunta ako dun sa guy na nag-reach out nung hand niya. Tapos pinakawalan ko na lang yung board. Tapos tumalon ako, nag-swing forward ako, bumalong muna ako. Swing forward, tapos nahawakan ko yung kamay niya. So medyo nag-slip pa ako, pero nakaakyat ako. Yun.
And that's, nakakayat ka, and that's where you were able to wait it out. So, ano pa?
So sa afternoon, mababa lang kasi kahit 2 floor siya, mababa lang siya. Tapos yung water, nagre-rise pa rin siyang mabilis. So, we went to the next house kasi 2 floors din siya pero mataas siya.
Okay.
Yung ceiling. So, dun kami sa gutter, sa scaffold, dumaan. Tapos nag-slip ako a few times. Pero eventually, nakaakyat din kami. Sobrang lakas pa rin ng Pero dun na kami for ilang hours. Nagstay.
Anong iniisip mo nung nangyayari lahat ito?
Try ko na lang yung best kong mag-survive. Pero pag hindi, kasi parang apocalypse yung feel nun. Kasi who would think na, syempre city yun, na submerge siya sa water. Kasi hanggang ngayon, hindi ko pa alam paano nangyari na ganun kataas yung water.
Were you ever tempted to give up?
No. Parang gagawin ko lang yung best ko. Pero no pressure. No pressure. Relax lang.
Were you afraid?
Sort of. Okay lang.
And this is probably why you were able to survive it, no? Parang, what about the things you saw? What did you remember of that time when you were riding your surfboard? What did you see?
When I was on the wall na.
Yeah.
I was holding my board and I had my backpack on. May nakita kong girl na naaanod. I was tempted to help her. I was gonna throw her the board. But she was just looking, she was really far pa. Pero naanod lang siya. Tapos nagtinginan lang kami. Tapos tinitingnan ko lang siya hanggang hindi ko na siya makita. Pero siya parang calm na lang yung mukha niya.
Parang accepting.
Accepting.
What else did you see?
When I was nasa stairs sa likod, nakita ko yung family na nag-help sa akin. They were trying to climb the tree. They have a child with them, siguro mga 3 or 4-year-old. Tas may pregnant pa silang babae. Tas umaakyat talaga sila sa puno. Tas I was gonna give them my board din. Nung time na yon hindi pa parang lampas tao na, pero mas safe ako dun sa ko kasi sa kanila na umaakyat sa puno. I was gonna give them my board pero like, ilang meters away pa, sa mga 5 meters away. Tapos pag i-itch ako yung board, rin lang kasi sobrang lakas ng current. Nakaakyat sila eventually. So parang, okay, baka I might make it worse pag ibigay ko pa sa kanila yung board. Ayun. Tapos yung iba, wala na, fog, sobrang kapal na fog. Yun lang nakita ko. Tapos, after mag-subside na, siguro mga 10:30 or mga 11, nag-subside na yung baha. Tapos, ang dami ng, nakita ko na yung destruction na, parang 95% ng mga bahay doon wala na. Hindi na nakatayo. Tapos, ang daming, dead bodies kina-cover na lang nila ng plywood, ng yero, kung ano yung mga debris na napupulot nila na pwedeng ipang-cover sa dead bodies, ika-cover na lang nila para lang hindi kitang-kita.
What did you think when you started to see the extent of the destruction?
I thought parang siguro 10% yung natatanggal dito sa population dito. Mas sobrang kita namin kung gaano ka grabe yung baha. Tsaka yung hangin. Yung hangin kasi grabe. Kasi may isang friend ako na nakakita siya na yung kid nakahawak talaga siya sa puno. Sobrang tight ng hawak niya ng puno. Kaso may lumipad na na yero sa ulo niya.
How did you deal with all of this? What did you do next?
Afterwards, pumunta ko dun sa friend ko.
Oo.
Dun sa mga barkado ko na mga 1 block away lang. Yung water nun, mas mababa na. Siguro mga below the knee. Pero meron pa. Mas malakas pa yung hangin. Trinay ko lang puntahan nila. Tapos nagulat sila na buhay pa ako. Kasi I was texting him din na natatakot na ako. Tapos, sabi niya, buhay ka pa. Nagulat siya kasi akala niya na din ako kasi nakita. Alam niyang tulog ako.
What about your family?
My family. Yung lolo ko kasi was in Tolosa. My mom was in Davao and my sister and my brother nasa Manila. Yung sister ko, kakalipan niya lang night before. And she's like very pregnant na.
Oh.
Buti na lang. Kasi naisip ko nga if nandun siya, I'd be dead. Kasi syempre siya yung papasakayin ko sa board.
So one of the things that you mentioned is there were times, even when you were already scared and trying to figure out what to do, you were also thinking of helping other people. Is that normal? Was that the way other people were behaving?
I'm not sure, pero nakakaawa kasi yung makikita mo yung hirap na will to survive nila. Parang may feel mo talaga na parang kailangan ko atang tumulong, pero I might make it worse if
You came back to Manila Tuesday night, right? And after you came back, what did you think of the images, everything else that's happened? It's 1 week ago. It's a week and a day since it happened. What did you think now?
Dun lang nag-sink in lahat. As in, parang nung nandun ako, parang nung duration na nandun ako, nung aftermath na, parang yung target lang namin nun, mag-survive, makakain, yung ngayon. Pero nung pag-alis ko, parang ito yung hometown ko. Tapos nakita ko pa sa Google Earth na yun nga, parang 95% nawala. Tapos yun mismo yung nakita ko. Kasi after nung baha, inikot namin yung buong city. We were walking like from 11 until gabi. Inikot lang namin yung city. Kahit pagod na pagod pa kami. Tapos nakita namin yung destruction talaga. As in, yung mga kotse nasa ibabaw na ng hospital, yung mga tapos yung mga patay na tao nasa gilid ng kalsada. Tapos, kahit ilang days after that, na yung nagulat ako, ilang days after that, nandun pala sila. Tapos yung mga debris sa road, hindi pa rin tinatanggal. Wala pa rin makadaan. Na supposedly, kung may manpower. Pero dapat national na yun kasi yung buong province, wala.
Affected. Anong ginawa niyo for food and water after Saturday?
Hindi kami proud of it, but nag-loot kami sa mga groceries, yung mga malls. Tapos, sons. Kasi bukas na siya eh.
What was going through your mind, I guess, when that was happening? I get so sinabi mo walang nangyayari dun sa mga bodies. Later on, you found out, di ba?
Nangingitim na lang, tas nagbo-bloat na. Iba na yung itsura nila, tas wala pa rin, hindi pa rin sila tinatawag. Tas iba na rin yung amoy nila.
Did you expect help?
I was not expecting it. I was hoping for it.
Yes.
Kasi alam ko naman na may something politics, ano yung national tsaka yung local namin.
Hanggang doon?
We were thinking nga, nung nandun kami, we were talking na buti pa yung ibang bansa, alam nila yung nangyayari sa atin. Tayo wala tayong idea anong nangyayari dito sa atin. Alam lang natin yung immediate surrounding natin, kung ano nangyayari. Pero yung, kumbaga, yung lahat, wala talaga kaming idea. Kung gaano kalala, kung ilan yung casualties.
Nung pumunta kayo sa Robinsons to get food and water, I guess, was that a decision? What was going through your minds when you did that?
Kasi nung right after nung bagyo, nang start na sila mag-loot, yung iba. Tapos kami, we were walking eh. We were just walking, namamasyal. Tapos nakikita namin yung iba. Sabi namin, parang, what for na, Tapos na-realize namin nung parang nag-usap-usap kami nung gabi, na sa nangyari, lahat ng dito, wala na. Walang magbubukas for ilang days. We don't have enough food sa bahay. Naka-stock sa bahay nila kasi may host family ako dun sa friend ko. Yun. We don't have enough food for everyone and marami kami. Saan kami kukuha? Saan kami bibili? Even if we have money, walang groceries, walang So, yun. Kinabukasan, nag-loot na kami
Parang you're embarrassed by it, but it was necessary. It was necessary.
I think so.
And what could anything have happened differently?
Siguro, kasi parang pinag-usapan nga namin na siguro if may dumating nga na relief, pipila talaga kami. Iniisip nga namin before, like, pag nanonood kami ng news na yung mga pumipila ng relief, yun yung mga less fortunate. Pero during that time, parang doon namin na-realize na relief pala for everyone talaga siya. Kasi wala talagang source doon.
Now you're back. You're back in Manila now. If you could tell, there's a lot of international aid. There's a lot of people who want to help. I guess if you could tell people, what's important to you, what did you learn out of it? What can people do?
Sobrang laki kasi ng damage doon. So, gawin na lang natin sana yung kahit konting donations or help sa repacking or kung anong help na maluwag sa atin. Kasi sobrang laki talaga ng destruction doon. Tapos yung mga family na nawala ng family members and houses and kami, parang hometown na wala.
Sa'yo tsaka sa pamilya mo.
Parang,
what's the impact of this on you? How do you and your family feel?
Hindi ko pa sila nako-contact directly.
Pero alam mong buhay sila?
Alam kong buhay sila. Kasi after 2 days, my mom went to check. Hinahanap daw yung katawan ko. Kasi she was in Davao that time eh. Tapos sinabi lang sa akin nung mga nag-save sa akin. She went to check kung nandun yung katawan ko. Tapos she was crying daw nung nalaman na buhay niya ako.
And now, what?
now kasi, sobrang scarce na yung ano doon. And we are trying to help. Kahit ano din kami, na-wash out din yung bahay namin. Kasi kami na lang yung nakatayong bahay halos doon sa barangay namin in Telegrafo, Tolosa. Lahat sila na-wash out. Nag-purchase kami ng mga para mag-rebuild sila ng houses kasi para to help them din yung mga kapitbahay. Tapos now nagsisik din kami ng pledges para kasi walang source dun eh. So nagbibigay din kami sa barangay namin ng food. Yung sister ko, she's very pregnant pero every day nagta-travel siya papunta sa Calbayog City, sa Samar. It's like 5-6 hours away.
Yeah.
Just to buy food para sa amin, sa barangay namin. And kanina, she called me na siya lang kasi yung natatawagan ko kasi nasa Calbayog siya. Sa amin, wala pang signal. Tapos, parang she's asking kung pwedeng, mag-ask kami ng pledges para, kasi ginamit na namin yung own money namin. Tapos we were only able to come up with 200 bags. And we kinda need more kasi they have to eat every day. Tapos maraming family yung affected doon kasi buong barangay namin. Pero sa barangay namin, hindi ganun karami yung casualty kahit na second landfall kami. Kasi may bundok likod, nakatakbo sila. Tapos yung nagpagawa kami ng seawall, hinarang niya, parang pinospone niya yung ng water, pag-rise ng water.
Still thousands of people died, right? In this, you're one of the lucky survivors. Where is that luck? Is that courage? Is that presence of mind? What allowed you to survive?
Parang siguro presence of mind and parang pagiging calm na lang. Parang acceptance ng whatever faith, parang come what may. Kahit
And in this now, I mean, this is a traumatic experience, and most people who go through this will have to process it. I'm sure you will. How are you
coping?
Yeah, how are you coping? How are you?
I'm not sure. I'm still worried kasi sa family ko.
Oh.
Because my lola's getting sick because he's sick and he's taking maintenance drugs, and during the flood, na-wash out lahat. And I'm not sure kung ano yung situation na kasi hindi ko rin sila nakakausap.
Okay. Thank you. My gosh, what an amazing. There's still many more to go. Many more days, weeks, months. When you talked about you and your family bringing food into your neighborhood, there was government help already at that point?
Kasi yung barangay namin is like parang 6 kilometers away from proper. Yung proper, they are only getting 1 puso and 1 egg per person. Yun lang yung dumarating sa kanila. What more sa amin? Sa amin halos wala na.
But when you came, but at that point when you were giving help for your neighborhood, nandun na yung gobyerno? Nandun na yung relief? Or nauna ba kayo?
Nauna na kami kasi kasi nung time na nandun ako, wala talaga kaming na-feel na relief. Kasi nga, dapat nga pipila kami, wala talaga. Pero, I was talking to some of my friends, meron na daw, parang alam nila yung 2 spots na nagbibigay ng relief goods. Tapos, pero sa amin, yun nga, 1 puso, 1 itlog, yun lang yung binibigay.
Sa isang araw?
Oo.
So, ngayon, what's the biggest challenge now? I mean, people are willing to help and people are helping. Ano pa? What do you see as the biggest challenge? After this week, after next week? Anong dapat gawin?
Restoration ng house and food and agriculture
Oo.
na nawasak lahat para mag-function siya effectively, efficiently.
Your last thoughts? Anything else na naiisip mo sa nangyari sa iyo at saka sa pamilya mo?
Sana safe na sila kasi hindi pa talaga sila nakakontakt eh. Wala pang direct contact. I haven't talked to my mom since before the storm pa, yung last time. So, pero hanggang ano lang, past the message lang, kumbaga. Pero parang she's okay naman na daw. Yung safety lang talaga doon. Kasi, as in, violent na nung last, before ako umalis. The reason why we left talaga, kasi wala naman talaga akong plan na umalis na without my family. Pero people are getting violent na. Tapos I have no way to contact my parents, my parent. Para, kasi I trinay ko siyang lakarin. It's like half day na lakad. It's really nakakapagod. Bumalik ako. Tapos I was asking some of my friends for a boat para I will paddle it na papunta doon. Kasi isang stretch lang naman yun eh. Sabi ko, kahit whole day ako magsagwan, makita ko lang yung lolo ko nung time, yung siguro mga second day. Eh yung hindi pa talaga makapas eh.
Why did it become violent? I mean, I understand people had to go get food and water, and then, ba't nangyari that it became violent? That people had to flee. People like you had to flee after that.
I don't know, cause I heard pinakawalan na yung mga, parang, alam mo yung psych test, parang, yung mga preso pinakawalan na. So, alam ng mga tao na wala nang jail. Parang kahit anong gawin nila, wala nang consequence. Parang siyang psych test na parang ganon. Yung parang yung Stanford experiment. Na pag yung consequence ng basta ganun.
Parang anarchy. People know that whatever they do, there will be no consequences for it. So, you didn't feel any presence of government? Walang ano?
Wala. As in, parang zombie land na kami doon.
Okay. My gosh. We wish you luck talking to your family and in the coming days. We have been speaking with Sheena Hunia from Tacloban City during Typhoon Yolanda's deadly storm surges. She survived by using her surfboard to ride the waves to safety. Her story is just one of many survivor accounts during the onslaught of the world's most powerful storm. She's very modest. She rode the waves. I'm Maria Ressa. Thanks for watching. Grabe, sobra kang modest. I don't know if